Okay, Cappies, we're back for part two. No problem. You thought I was going to leave you off. I mean, the first message was whole in and of itself, but I definitely want to do your overview just to get some card specifics. So let's get right into it. Beautiful opening statement. Beautiful opening statement. So you're, whoa, Capricorn. This is truly humongous. This is absolutely an individual internal experience. We've got the Six of Cups. And what I love about the Aquarian Tarot is that the Six of Cups here always talks about the amount of flowers that you are going to receive. I'm telling you, Capricorn, from start to finish, I wanted to make sure that I came on and that I was supportive of you guys and that I wanted you to know that December is always that time, in my opinion. But the amount of flowers that you are going to get because your divine masculine and your divine feminine within have actually truly not only come into union, but it looks like they've been on the Ten of Pentacles journey with one another. And it's like you are now this December about to show, it's as if you've been building some castle with your divine partner, the divine union within self. And this may also just be like your actual partner. And it's like the showing of the finished product. Like you, whether you want to believe it or not, at some point in your life where you're standing now was once a dream, and not even something maybe you wanted for yourself, but it was like a dream vision that like something like this could be built. And you know, you might feel however you feel. Like again, when you make it to the top, you can feel all types of ways. But you know, in terms of what Spirit really wants me to let you focus on is in terms of like December, to be at this point where once upon a time in your last cycle, maybe take 13 years ago, take 9 years ago, you know, take these like bigger cycles that we're going through, there were things that you could have projected would take a certain amount of structure to build and to be at the top and to be looking at it. But I just feel like December, there is, mark my words, there's going to come a moment where you're looking at something just like this couple is here that they've built physically. And no matter what the journey to building this was, or even how you feel about this, it's important for you to know that this December, Spirit wants to give you a second to stop, because I do feel for like there's a lot of varying degrees in like what type of cycle you're on depending on what kind of Capricorn you are, okay? But what is universal is every Capricorn for this December is wrapping up something. So even if it means the thing that God wants you to take a moment to celebrate is going to be having quite literally a lot of people bring flowers to, is a part of whatever cycle you just finished. Whatever cycles, there's something that you have built, Ten of Pentacles, something that you committed to at some point. And this is also a bigger, deeper message for my Capricorns. It's like nothing is wasted in your life. Nothing in your life that you've decided to like commit yourself to could ever be a waste. It was all about your evolution, all about your journey. So for a lot of people, because I also am seeing like a large range of Capricorns where it's like, you know, this is basically like showing your thesis for something, but knowing like college is over after this, or knowing like maybe this relationship, like this is our moment to really be proud of the family we built. Because it could be sobering, it could be like, you know, maybe you're going through a separation at this time or some sort, but it looks like it would be a separation from something where at some point you came together to build something super huge with one another, you know. And so for a lot of Capricorns, I just feel this deep sense of like, this is our last time doing this, and it would make sense. It's like Year of the Snake, you know. So a lot of the holidays this year is like, you know, really, if I could give you one thing, is like take this December and like make the best memories no matter where you're standing, because what comes on the other side is a very new thing. And this is just like that encore. Like it's just like we're giving you an encore for the old story, because I just feel like the old story has been built. Whatever you were trying to resurrect with your old world, you've built something beautiful. This is the most Capricorn thing. This is why I'm really excited to be starting with you guys' reading, because I think the Capricorn in the entire collective can understand that, like, even though we are in a destruction paradigm right now, even though there is a collapse of our old world, it would have been the smartest for you to be like proud of our evolution. Like, even though humanity had to saturate itself into capitalism, you know, even though we had to saturate ourselves into slavery, it's like, you know, it's kind of like me. It's like I have to make beauty out of the places where my ancestry, my own life have been, you know, in things that are not sustainable, that won't last forever. But I always try to make art, you know, so that way no matter what cycle I leave or what mess I leave, it's like we still have something beautiful from it. Because what I see is like come this new astrological year, you're going to be in a completely new paradigm. Maybe some of the things that you built are with people that are going to follow through with you to the next, maybe not. But I think Capricorn's universal really do know that, like, you should take a moment, because like I said, I don't know if anybody's old paradigm was really going to feel the best for them, because it's not meant to. It's meant to be something that we evolve out of. So I just want to give you the foresight that is like, you should take the disposition is that like you're getting flowers. A lot of these flowers, again, this has to do with like seeds planted, and you understand this because you represent the earth. So you know that like seeds planted today don't grow tomorrow. So, you know, you might be on your new wave building and planting all these seeds, and those will come to fruition in cycles to come. But the flowers that you're getting now are from all the things that probably you've also outgrown. Like it might be like, you know, just showing up as the person who did the work in certain ways, or showing up as the person, you know, who has developed or evolved in certain aspects of life may not even feel like relevant to you now, is what I'm getting. Because again, like the holidays can just kind of bring you back together. We are still saturated in the middle of like certain retrogrades and things like that until we get to the end of December. So it's like, you know, you might be having this experience where it's like, some of the stuff that's coming back around, you might even be completely done with, or like I said, you might, to get flowers, or I do just kind of get this air of like people congratulating you. Like say you're a parent and it's like, you know, you're a Capricorn parent, and for some reason it's like, you know, your kids are at that point in their life where like they're meeting success, but like, you know, maybe the partner that you had those kids with, like you're not whatever with anymore. So it's like, it kind of gives an air of like the spirit is going back and giving you flowers for things that you absolutely did achieve and things that you were like foundational in helping build up, even if it's not like your current tab. So just let yourself receive that is a big thing. Because I think like even with Dennis, it's like, you know, currently like right now, there are certain cycles that he's closing out that we had, like, I definitely wanted to support him because I'm like, we just can't miss any part of your life. That's all that life is about. But even for him, he's had to like ground and knows like, oh, I know why I'm back in this cycle. I know why I'm in certain environments right now. Because it was just about me getting flowers, because I did graduate certain things, like, you know, like we talk about with him, like his last decade was kind of like a course correction based on certain things that had happened. And so to kind of be at a place now where it's like you're getting flowers from stuff that like, yeah, it was just how you recovered your own path, but at the same time take the flowers nonetheless, because it's still things that, again, Capricorn, you have done, which I think is just so beautiful. But I'm just seeing December, it's like you're getting tons of flowers. Yeah, okay. And this is exactly what I thought. So how do we, Capricorn, handle getting flowers for something that is also simultaneously like initiatory, anxiety inducing in a tower? So I also want to give an underlying message that's like going around for Capricorns as well. This is also about you rectifying basically the age of Pisces, which were for Capricorns, where it's like, if there's something that you built that gives you benefit, but you like exploited, this is like systems that are unsustainable. And Capricorn would be taking the brunt of that right now, because it's like, basically this is like the person that, like, if you were ever wearing a mask, or for example with Capricorn in the old age would be known for what you do versus who you are. Well, the transition to the age of the Aquarian is like, now you're getting, people will only know you, and the currency is like based on like who you are, right? Not really what you do or what you have, right? Or what you can make. And so I think the thing that's getting triggered right now for Capricorns are these massive towers. And you don't need to take them personally. They're just a part of your metamorphosis and your transition, because in the past, your interpersonal relationships, the life you were building had to do with like you being seen and considered valuable because of like how you were showing up. And this could be in the high or the low. People could think you were really useless because of like what you would do instead of who you were, or people could think you were really valuable. It doesn't really matter, but it does look like, you know, there are some towers that are falling down right now, because they're all about, again, because they're crossing the Six of Cups. This can be karmic and soulmate. So these are people that you were going to come across either way, partnerships that you were going to come across either way, where, you know, I feel like there's just going to be really notable throughout December where you're like both celebrating and also like excavating things, because it could feel like one day, you know, we're really glad about what we've achieved in this relationship, but also there's still a lot there. This is that duality where it's like, you know, someone can be for you and you could have messed up things that are for you. So you're going to have to understand it's going to be a whole experience. But the towers that are triggered, it doesn't come without positivity. I think the thing that does make December much easier than maybe the rest of the year was like, you weren't definitely getting the flowers all year. So this is definitely that solar return boost from the universe, making sure that you know that like whatever 9 swords, like I said, it's like really sharp anxiety. I'm talking like kind of explosive type of frequencies. Anytime that those experiences might show up for you in December, just also know it's just, those are just the towers, and the reason for the other aspects, the other pole, which is like, I've got this new love, is to just, it's going to really help you know like what is a part of what timeline. So things that feel like 9 of Swords, which are just like stabs, jabs, towers. Those are a part of, that would definitely be a part of things that are not going to continue. So another word of advice that I would give you is like, if you're in a dynamic for, let's say, and you are experiencing a tower and a 9 of swords with that experience, God is only having you go through that. The thing that you need to do is not even like drain, like, have I not learned? You're not even here to like beat a dead horse. You know what you've like learned your lessons. It's not even that. These are just the final touches in this year of the snake, where it's like, that goes with this timeline. So for a lot of Capricorns too, if you have a lot of that, rigidity in terms of control still, it's going to help you understand that like at this time, relationships, experiences, people, places, environments are either going to be one of two things. You're either going to feel this or you're going to feel this. And the divide being super massive and also happening at the same time is just so you can know what goes over here and what goes over here. If it's something that goes over here, which means it comes as a tower, that is to let you know, because I think there was a lot of Capricorns that were trying to play God and tell God like who's supposed to be in your life, what you're supposed to be doing and why. So this is also just kind of like the last like little punch from the divine to make sure that that ego is like clocked out. Because as soon as we get to the year of the horse and we keep ascending, like there's not gonna be certain time for like certain like ego-based movement. So this is just God being like, I'm God. I know what's good for you because I designed you, and what's not really good for you. So no matter how much you wanted to control, because your control is the reason why you have both of these showing up in your experience right now. You might be around people where it's like, dang, I'm still kind of like teeter-tottering between old world and like new world. And it's like, the whole point is just like, it would just be the points where it's like, you could have just had new world or you could have just had old world, but it's the places where you were indecisive, where it's like, you know, you would use your creator to get what you want, but not to fully commit to like the creator's plan, because the creator doesn't just advise us to do things. It also wants us to take its word because it has a bigger framework. And so if there are still bugs or tower moments that are collapsing during December, just know it's just the one thing I want you to take away is that like that behavior, that partnership, that dynamic, that pattern, that loop, 1111 is meant to die away. That's the reason it's showing up like this. So these are people that you need to, so all you'd have to think about is like, if someone is causing a tower with you or whatever, those are people that are eventually going to be let go of, which again, kind of taking it back to where I was saying, like, you might be a little bit surprised this December because some of the things you're getting flowers for, there also might be this deep sense of like, if you were also masking in certain ways. So let's say like, it's been 50 years of marriage with this person and everybody just knows you as like the stable, solid marriage. But at the same time, it's like, you know, the holiday seasons can really trigger where it's like people give you praise for things that actually just give you a headache, like that actually on the interior, like it just feels like a tower for you. God wants you to really spend some time knowing yourself, learning about yourself, and truly just nurturing yourself and coming from your higher self and just being honest about that. That's what this rectification is. If you can take my advice this December and really understand that those two things are prevalent for you and that it's just about getting you to come into a oneness. So like, let yourself have a whole experience. This would mean integrating your shadow. So it's like things that you don't like in with Capricorn, I think you also realize like, it's not going to do anything to anyone else that you just keep performing this out, or that you, because the only person getting 9 swords and towers would be you. And I think you know that because these incidents that keep popping up, they're just about you and whatever you're dealing with. So, you know, again, Capricorn, you can very much have the center of your reading is like, God has already shown you this is what it's supposed to be for you. It should just be getting back flowers for how much you've built up. The other thing I want to say is like, wasn't this clarified by the 10 of Pentacles? And yet what's crossing it is the tower. So there's also a lot of Capricorns, you have a lot to protect. So it is really important to get that spiritual discernment up and keep stronger boundaries and really come into a full embodiment of who you are. So there's a lot of Capricorns, and my advice to you is like, start acting like you've built what it is that you've built, because you have, and you're also already getting flowers for that. But the only issue, that the reason you're still attracting situations like this where people think they can like detonate a bomb and like blow up your castle, is because of some aspect of it where you're not truly like, you're still in anxiety about something. It's, again, this is like for Capricorn, self-esteem. You know, were you ever allowed to as a child to take ownership and pride in like how hard you work, how exceptional you really are, how advanced you really are? Because to me, there's no reason that you should be building, you found the soulmate, you built the thing, you follow God, you were obedient, and yet this is a time where this is like Capricorn's purging out that like, I was punished wrongfully frequency. Like I'm actually doing everything right, but I'm getting, so if you want to stop that, that comes from within. It's a reverberation of your internal vibration, which is the places where Capricorn can no longer self-harm. You can no longer be the person that's like, I'm going to be my hardest critic. I'm going to be like the most evil to myself, when actually you're nothing but love. Like, you know, and I think you're realizing that is like, oh, I'm walking out and I'm literally projecting that and I'm creating that and I'm getting that out of people that are reflecting that to me, which is like, I show up as love, but I still feel like I deserve some sort of punishment, and you don't. That like illusionary tower is coming down because you can't be this hard on yourself. when this was something you did with ease. You didn't even have to think about it. That's another big part of this, is like you are reconnecting that you are a feminine principle, you're a feminine energy, right? So there's a lot of you that didn't have to try for the things you built. Even if you are known as the master builder, master kingdom builder, it doesn't matter. And I think because you keep judging yourself and grading yourself on masculine principles, that's where all this anxiety comes from. And then it's probably like mirroring in people or explosiveness or whatever. So really huge, really, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And again, 3 of Cups versus the 2 of Cups. I think this is also a huge, huge nod to, this is going to show up in partnerships, you know? This is really, really, really going to show up in partnerships. It really, really is. Where it's like, you know, the 3 cups versus the 2 cups. Like, so basically, I just see you, Capricorn, you're going to be hosting a lot, meaning people are going to be at your party. So again, I just want to reiterate, you can be any type of Capricorn, low vibration, high vibration, anywhere in between in terms of consciousness. This year, your season is going to bring back company at your shit. So just remember the reality of your 2 cups, how evenly yoked your internal cups are. So this could also just be partnerships you have. People are going to be at your party. So when that's happening, I just want to be honest, because like I said, I see some people where it's like, this is a facade. Like, you're getting people always like, oh, because you told everybody this love your life, that's the best thing that's ever happened to you. And it's like, it's not, right? So if that's your frequency, you know, I want to let you be aware that like people see this clearly. And this is a lot of gossip. This is also, again, the integrity of like how true this is. Because again, for Capricorns, there can't be, me and my partner, me and my reflected mirror, we say we're shit talkers. And it's like, whatever you really do, it's like, this is directly going to be mirrored. You're going to really, really know this holiday season that like, so within, so without, in like in the most brutal way, specifically because it's a lot of like celebratory energy, a lot of gathering energy with the 3 of Cups and the 2 of Cups like that. And it has a lot to do with, like I said, you know, you might find that like, again, Capricorn is also a big lesson to you. It's like, you have to look at how things are turning out. If every time people get around you, even if people are like demonic and insane, even attracting demonic and insane people, there's a vibrational resonance within you. So if you don't want to have these busters around you, you'd have to really look and clean up what you actually do. I think God really wants you to be squeaky clean. I'm telling you, it was like my husband this morning, he was like, brother, it's like every T has to be crossed, every I has to be dotted in order for you to really, and my husband got a really beautiful praise from the owner of his business. And he was just like, Dennis, like, just thank you for your honesty and integrity. And I think, again, Capricorn, like, if your 2 of Cups relationship is genuinely honest and integral, you're about to have the party of a lifetime. If it's not, then the party is going to reflect that. You're going to have a bunch of baboons who have no honesty, no integrity, who live like shalalalas. And this is going to just be a party full of people who do this. We're celebrating, but we actually have all this. And so, again, it could go either way for you. I'm really giving you this information now so that you can prepare accordingly. For the kind of party you want to have. You get what I'm saying? And it's just, again, right? Because this was all about the whole year in the recent past was the Hermit, right? This was always coming to you. You being the investment, you building this was always going to get done. You were always going to finish. My father-in-law, he just like finished a staircase in the garage. He just like popped it out one time. He just like built some stairs. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, you're always going to finish the stairs. But it's like, again, it's like how good that goes is based on your walk through the dark night, right? How strong is your light, right? Not, because again, this could be people where it's like, you got a lot more shadow integration. If you didn't spend this year learning about yourself, if you're a Capricorn that was spending all year playing victim, like it was like, oh, I'm victimized by my situation. I don't really know, like, you know, everything's happening to me. People like it, because again, Capricorn, it's unascended to be like, someone's showing up a certain way for me. I don't know why they're doing that. Well, there's obviously a reason, you know, if someone's not talking to you, someone's upset with you, if someone's in love with you, whatever it is, like, it's like, there's a reason for that. And so right? And so we just want to be aware of that. We need to understand that it's not disconnected, and you can't do the Capricorn thing anymore where you're like coming out of ego and it's like, I don't know. Because everything that happens to you is an opportunity for you to learn about yourself. And therefore, even if it's a bad situation, you can nurture yourself through it. That's the only reason we go through bad shit, is so that you can learn how to help yourself through moments, right? You can have a strong connection to your higher self, and you can know how to get through moments that aren't easy, right? That would be the whole point of the dark night. It's so that you can get stronger, more solid, so you can be more consistent. Because I think in the recent past, it's like you want to show up more consistently in love, Capricorn. That was the whole reason for 2025 for you, is that like right at the beginning of the year, your love was super hot and cold. It was super like and I think people kind of felt that like bipolar, like sometimes you're amazing. And I think, you know, Capricorn, you get really loyal and committed partners in life, which is great. But at the same time, the problem is like they get them. It's like and again, when my husband, I met him, we were proper kids who were in the middle of our trauma and wound, and we like woke up together. But one of the things of like growing and learning with him was just like Dennis is absolutely my soulmate. There's no question about it. The thing that I had to navigate a lot though, just like which is obviously reflected, is like for him it's going to be super pull. There are times when he can really control the relationship and just not show up. Like he has so much value that like he can really weaponize it as well. So instead of him becoming hot and cold because he's dealing with these like imbalances within, you know, this year the things that he had to go through, whatever happened to him, however he was being asked to show up by God, was about helping him become more consistent internally. And that's what this dark night specifically in your recent past was trying to do for you. This is so beautiful, Caps. So beautiful. Let's keep going. Let's see. Whoa, Capricorn. Okay, yeah, Capricorn. So the top is the Ten of Pentacles reverse and the Queen of Pentacles reverse. So two huge messages here. And I want to make sure I get you this whole message. Yeah. Six of Pentacles. If you build something that isn't equal give and take, this is all Capricorns are. Capricorns, you're the one telling the community. You can't have divine partnership that's not equal. There's no such thing as an unequal partnership. There's none. You can't go into partnership with people unless it's even. So for many of you Capricorns, maybe you were like my husband, like you met your soulmate. But the thing is like me and him can be complete equals, but we have to equally, in order for this partnership to work, he was going to have to fill in whatever gap. Like we can't be vibrating at two different places, right? Like it can't be Alexis has gotten this far in her ascension and Dennis is here. And even though we were designed to go together, if he doesn't bridge this, then it won't matter. So for the last 10 years, that's what we've really focused on, is making sure that like Dennis recovers his time, energy, and path. Because otherwise, like this can't be grounded. It can't just be, and then the other polarity of that. So like Capricorn, you knew you were kind of having to run that race. In order to be in alignment with your highest timeline, you were going to have to really do that work, which is great. You've done it. But I also see that there's also a big wave of Capricorns right now where it does look like there is a partnership that like this is your last time. Like go ahead and enjoy. Like I want you to know that if you're coming to a conclusion that like you've built a false Ten of Pentacles with something that doesn't actually, like a Queen of Pentacles that doesn't actually, like it can't provide for you, it can't be this, it would have to do with the fact that there was an inauthenticity in whether this was aligned for you. So again, this wasn't a soulmate. And if it isn't actually a soulmate, that's why all this tower could knock it down at this time. And I feel like the dark night that you've been going through in the last 13 years and the last 9 years really solidified for you. Like I said, Capricorns, really huge thing. Look at how your life is turning out for you. When you make a decision or when you make a judgment call and everything falls apart, it's not by accident. It's not for you to be like, I'm confused and I'm victimized, because I think you've tried it. You've tried to blame everybody else and there's no one else to blame. It comes down. I feel like this December can also put people in a corner. This needs to move out of the way. This, you can't go, we already know this. We already know if this isn't real. We already know if you don't have someone, because this is having a castle. Because I think a lot of Capricorns, you in the old world, you could get by on your own ambition, right? You could just be, you're mad successful. So whoever you're partnered with, whoever you build your life with, this is like, and this is the Capricorn in all of us. Like there's no more of this, like, I pay for all my best friends to like live lavish, but they don't put, like, it doesn't matter. You can't do anything for anyone else, and people aren't going to get free rides anymore. So Capricorn, you can't, this is God making sure you're not exploited anymore, because I think you were down to just do this. You were down to keep a queen who's disempowered in your castle, and it can't be that. You know, they gotta push themselves. Like again, me coming back to Atlanta was about me being like, no, it's important for me to make sure I match that. Like Dennis can't be the only one working hard. Like I have to build out my own thing as well, in order to reap the benefits, because he is the type of person that could put me in the castle that I'm in, but I have to be matching that. And that's why it's flowing so well in Atlanta, because this is his framework, this is his world. But in order to avoid me becoming just a queen that's not gonna, that's eventually just gonna lose all of this and sort of waste the Capricorn's time, because from what I'm seeing, I'm holding space for you. It's like, you know, this final hoorah is also going to be a major expose of like this, the divine is really, it's going to be very obvious that this thing can't sit in this castle. It was never able to just sit in this castle with you. You can't build up your life's work and put a prop that's not actually equally giving to you, because this is Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles. This is equal give and take. And, you know, so don't be mad, because a lot of times when you go into separation, it's about making sure that when we come together, we can both give, you know, and I'd rather take that. I'd rather us take our time and actually be committing to like giving the same thing than like one of us giving to something and then somebody like having a free ride because they're not physically mind, body, and spirit all the way there. Super huge. So beautiful. Also, Capricorn's another big thing is spirituality is like, you got to tell your truth about how much like you love God. Again, we talked about this a couple Capricorn readings back, probably around like July, Cancer season. We really talked about like allowing yourself to be, you know, a lot of people want to talk about, you know, your devilish ways, the way you can be like the king of bondage. But the truth is God has already forgiven you and has already allowed you to have your seat right back at the right hand. So, you know, it's okay for you to move forward. I see this December, once you leave this message, you're about to move forward and be like, I love God. I'm dedicated to my new life where I am viewed as a holy person. And because I'm viewed as a holy person, I can't do this debauchery anymore. I can't do this unequal give and take because this is all third dimensional. This is all materialistic. This is the life that you lived that was for show, where it was like people were really trying to convince you to go into unequal dynamics that were just going to exploit you in the end. And you don't have to do that because you've already been taken by your higher path. But this is where you're letting it cut very fast in the near future, where it's like, I can't live. It's almost like whatever this life that was being built was sacrilegious for you. You know what I mean? Whatever the divine feminine part of you that was like, this is like a divine feminine doesn't do her part. And so again, Capricorn, this could have been like, you could have had like wounding from a maternal figure that was like, it's like, this is like that trad wife that's not even really a trad wife. Like we can't even call you a trad wife. It's like, you just got to sit up in that house for free. Like that kind of vibe, if that gets passed down, you have to purge that out of your lineage because that's not the reality. The divine feminine is supposed to be empowered. In fact, she's the creator. So, you know, this is a divine feminine who didn't create the idea. This is like the divine masculine doing the creating, the building, the fulfilling, the paying for it. And then what is the girlie doing? Holding the money. But then that's why she doesn't know what to do with it. She's like, right? And so I think, like I said, you know, I think for a long time, your King of Wands was trying to like keep it, suppress how bad this was. But God's like, let it erupt. Let it be a tower moment because there are certain things that are just fucked up that you need to let be fucked up because they're trying to show you that they're actually like not helpful for you. And I think Capricorn, you've spent way too many, I'm talking like if this is a 9-year cycle, you spent like 9 years of pure like headache energy trying to like keep this at a place where people could keep giving flowers to, but it doesn't matter because it's looking like rotten from the inside out. Like this is like a house that's like so rotten. This is like a house that's like so rotten. That's like so like the wood, you know, it's got like termite damage and shit. Like it's like the foundation is just no bueno. So it's like the point is to let it 7 of Wands, to like 7 of Wands reverse. Like let it be that your King of Wands is like whatever I created, it's okay for it to like take you over. You know what I mean? Because it's God is trying to get justice for the part of you that's a creator, right? The creative part of you is really trying to receive justice. So again, it might feel like toppling. It might be, I'm also getting like, don't be too mad about how like certain things might be embarrassing at this time because there's nothing more embarrassing than like doing this long, you know, lying about how, you know, unequal, how non-equality is helpful for you. It's not good for any framework, right? We need to all be viewed as equal human beings and we all have equal possibilities and potential. We're all infinite, limitless potential no matter what. We're all coming from the trenches. We're all trying to ascend, right? So in that way, you know, it is good that whatever secondhand embarrassment you feel from like how certain stuff is falling out or maybe how public it is. Because again, I said it's like, looks like some of this stuff is happening at parties. Again, if you're in the higher vibration, this is amazing because you are just being released. You're really able to know like whatever stuff that's showing up as towers right now, all that you're clocking is like, you're the horse that won't be nowhere near my 10 of Pentacles. It won't be, you know what I mean? But I don't want you to fear this because I think too, you've been really scared to host people because you don't want people to see the inside of this, right? Whatever this illusionary 10 of Pentacles is where it's not equal, like it's a partnership, but it's not equal. And so it's like an imbalance within. It's the places where your divine feminine isn't doing their part, you know, to be as creative as it can. That's why you were always never wanting to like host stuff yourself. That's why you might find yourself working for other people instead of working for yourself as a Capricorn, right? You're still in that era because you're not letting your divine feminine. You get what I'm saying? Like, and again, I know this for my husband, he's going to age out of the cycle where he's at and go all and not need to do anything for anyone else because he's already capable, but it's only in time until he understands it's like he has to make sure his feminine is equally giving to his masculine. So that way she has to have a plan. She has to be able to conceptualize. So because the only reason, again, 9 of Cups is when you're hosting everyone. This is your bar that you open and everyone can come drink from you all night. But if that's in your fear space, means you're fearing your own stability. You're fearing that. Again, you've always been the proper host. You've always been, like I said, some Capricorns will spend their life working for someone else's big dream, but you could have also been the person who did that yourself. You could have been employing other people. So I don't want you to be scared of the era where you employ others in your world, because you have yet to address that, like, this has to be giving just as much as your masculine does. Your masculine does so much, but your divine feminine has to be able to, like, think of the idea. Yes, exactly. Because the end of your reading is so beautiful. This is the December of all Decembers. It's like there are contracts that come in. The end of it is the Seven of Swords, which is you will know clearly, which I think all Capricorns needed to know, because I don't think there was a lot of clarity on this. I think the hardest part about this is, like, I don't think based on the framework of how you've been told to be a Capricorn, you used to think of this as stealing from yourself. Again, it's a very traditional, old way of thinking. Hierophant. We're talking about all the old traditions, all the old ways that we should show up. But it's like, it's very traditional to think like, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to work hard and I'm going to make sure to have somebody. You used to maybe think that was like chivalrous, right? But now you're seeing chivalry as like, actually, that's just stealing from myself. So this is a huge revolution in the way that you think about collaboration, partnership, etc. There isn't a partnership where any aspect of the contract that says like take from you. No need. You don't need to do that anymore. And so I'm really excited for you because you have a very you got a very high love coming into you, Capricorn. And I'm so excited for you to experience for the first time. And it has to do with 30-30. Like, you're able to really solidify this December. Like, there is no collaboration, no contract, no partnership. Because again, it looks like a whole 10 of Pentacles. It's like a whole identity, a whole chapter, a whole era. You, again, could have been decades of your life. You were known, seen, building something in a certain way that, unfortunately, because of the way that we've ascended, what you maybe thought was a good idea is now you're seeing it for what it really may have done for you. Because again, this might be great for this bitch who don't got to do shit, right? It might be great for the divine feminine that she's never had to lift a finger, I guess, temporarily, but it's like, this is the conceptualizer in you. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the real root of this is you have to be able to equal parts create the right vision for yourself and do the work. And I think Capricorn's really comfortable with like, tell me what to do, God, and I'll do it. But that's why God's like, yeah, but you gotta empower that feminine. You gotta know what you're building. You can't always wait for someone else to tell you what to do next, right? Because that would be stealing from yourself. Because a lot of times whenever we're waiting for someone to tell us, like when we want to go get a paycheck from someone else, you're still letting them tell you what the future is for you. When God's like, Capricorn, why do you think you don't know what your future is? You get what I'm saying? And so you're going to get a ton of examples. Specifically also like in my husband's experience, some of you are in beautiful partnerships where it's like one of the partners has a lifestyle that helps you really see the ways where it's like, oh, like my husband's really learning this about me right now because I'm really in a divine union with him right now. So a lot of the things that I'm getting, like my masculine and my feminine are giving in equal parts. Like there's equal parts my masculine doing, but my feminine has a really great vision for what I want to create. And so he's really learning at this time in ways where it's like, even in the ways where like our jobs are different, like I'm, a paid artist now, which is something like, even though I'm working for someone else, it's like, even in the ways that I have to work for someone else at this time, it's like nice to be paid as an artist and still follow the vision that my divine feminine has. So he's realizing like, oh, if I don't ever develop out empowering the visionary aspect of myself, then that's why there's parts of my pentacles that aren't here quite yet, because this is what God was trying to develop all 2025 for you, Capricorn. So I'm super excited for you because finally knowing that some of these contracts would have just been stealing from you just because it's like, it's parts of you that are just like always going to be out of balance, parts of you that are not allowed to be a visionary, parts of you that aren't. And so again, this could be partnerships for many of you, but it could also, or just like relationships, dynamics, patterning, but it is all rooted in realizing that putting Capricorns in a box, putting baby in a corner, putting you in the, you're just here to work and shut the oysters and do it's not reality. It's not. You're just as dynamic, masculine and feminine as all of this. And in fact, that's actually like a weirdly masculine principle for a completely feminine sign. So I'm so excited that I got to give you guys this message. I love you guys so much. This is going to be the best December of your life. Like I said, it's nothing but hosting and partying. So either way, if this is the last time and you know this in your bones that like, this is the last good holiday season I'll get to spend with this partner before I know like, we don't need to start a new chapter together. Live it the fuck up because you still deserve it. It looks like you still built so many beautiful things from this cycle of learning, 3333, that are worth celebrating. And so even with the Nine of Swords, like see this, like, it's not fake love you're getting from people who are telling you like, oh, we love you and this partner that maybe you're like changing or ending things with, or, oh, we loved this business you built, or we loved this and that. It's actually just God giving you and completing off the cycle, so that at least if you do start a new beginning, it feels complete, rather than like it was a bad ending and it didn't feel like we got anything out of it. Like, I just don't want you to be prepared that like God's gonna make you feel like you got a pocket full of ducks starting the new year, if it is that like all of this old identity does have to go. Because it's not. You have all the beautiful things you learned from that. Hopefully you made some beautiful art in life to celebrate it. Hopefully you have beautiful things to look back on. And again, Capricorn, there's nothing that you can do that is wrong. Even if you were in a karmic cycle, even if you were playing it too small, even if you were letting people be the authority in your life, no matter what it is that maybe makes you feel secondhand embarrassment now, like, oh my God, I'm so much more conscious, I would never live that way again. Welcome to consciousness. Like, everyone also feels that way. Like, if you don't think that I felt the same way about like how I used to show up in the world, you'd be mistaken. But this is about giving yourself more humanity. This is about honoring that it's okay for you to want to be in a spiritual path and to want to have what God has for you. I also see a lot of you, like, the harshness about this is that, like, you're starting to understand that your creator doesn't want this for you. And I think that's what's going to wake up at Capricorn. When you start seeing synchronicities where it's like, God is like, let's cut this. We don't need to do this anymore. Cut this partner. I don't really want this for you. I really want something else for you. I want something better for you. That's when you take the 7 swords. That's when you're like, look, this is definitely a lot of Capricorns finishing December being like, it's not you, it's me. But it's because it's time for you to finally do the thing where it's like, open your own bar, serve your own liquor, you know? You don't got to go work at someone else's firm, start your own. You don't got to go, you know, because, I mean, what's the difference between you and them? I mean, why are you always going to let it be that, oh, someone else is in balance, so I'll go work for them? Or you can balance yourself and you can have it too. So those are the beautiful parts of your life at this time. And yeah, so I wish you the best, happiest December ever. And again, I just want to bring it right back up. Like, you have divine love that's ready for you. And all of this month, from what I see, is just about you getting justice for like everything you've done, even the overworking you've done. God wants to make sure that it's paid back equally to you. So allow yourself to get it back. I know, you know, because deep down, you're not going to tell anybody that you want justice for the way that this person unequally was giving to you in terms of how you built this, but you really don't want to start your new cycle with resentment in your heart. So let God, like, be present in whatever God presents, whether it's a tower, whether it's a devil situation, whether it's nothing but divine love. Like, be present in it, because letting yourself fully express, especially with everything you've learned about who you really are at this time, it's going to be successful for you. So I'm super excited for you guys. I love you to death. Like, this is amazing. And thank you for letting me check in with you. Thank you for hanging in there with me this entire year. I love you guys. This is like one of the best readings. So kisses. Bye.